Today is all about our first looks into Hogwarts Legacy, casting spells, how the combat works, coming across our first puzzles, and even going to everybody's favourite place, Hogsmeade. Now there's one thing I'll mention throughout this video multiple times, but you gotta respect the graphics, you gotta take notice at just how much effort they've put into this. Now for me personally, I like to adventure around the game, explore it a little bit, and see what it actually has to offer, and of course I like to check to see if there are things hiding around certain corners and whatnot. And in this particular instance we come around here and sure enough there is a chest, so we know to keep our eye out for those throughout the game. As for spells, now don't worry, this isn't how you have to cast a spell every single time, this is just the simple learning process of a spell. You only have to do it the one time, but I thought I'd show it off as it's something quite unique. Now taking a look into the combat, it's actually quite nice, it's quite fluent, I do enjoy it. I guess the best comparison you could give would be Assassin's Creed. It feels very similar to that. It can get a little bit repetitive, but at the same time it flows quite nicely. So personally I think it's actually quite a good setup that they have going there. Now I was just stumbling through the dorms as I ended up coming across this, of course, as we all know, Wizard's Chess. Now, I wanted to actually have a bit of a look at this because I wanted to see how much detail they put into the game. And as we see here, Black Winds, now it's something very small, but I appreciate the little things, seeing how much effort they actually put in. After exploring the dorms, you come to the common room, and that's where you bump into a few of the housemates that you have. So for me, because I'm in Slytherin, these people are Sebastian, Imelda, and Ominous. Now being the explorer that I am, of course I had to go out and find some more things, so one of the things I came across was actually one of the little puzzles that you can find. In this puzzle they give you a painting of a spot in your current area. Once you've found that spot, you lead a butterfly back to the painting and puzzle solved. Upon completing certain tasks you will end up getting some items, and so as you can see here I'm going through the customization, looking at some gloves that I got, and then also taking a look at some headwear. Some of these will give you benefits and improvements to your health, defense and offense. While exploring, anytime I come across a door I feel I have to go through it to find out what's on the other side, and sure enough I ended up finding myself outside, and I figured what a wonderful place to get a little bit of footage, because the castle and the area around it just looks so nice and beautiful. And with such a big map, one of the things to be thankful for is the fact that they've added fast travel, and in this particular case, it's done with the use of flue flames. And they're not at all hard to come by, you'll find quite a lot of them around the map, and speaking of the map, thankfully they've done it. It's in quite an interesting way, but it's not in a complex way, like it's still quite easy to get used to, still easy to manage your way to get around, which is definitely something to be grateful for because some games are absolutely terrible at it. During another one of my exploring moments I came across this particular fountain and I had to stop and take a look at it, and I had to get this on video and show you guys because just to put in that detail, just to show having the statue come to life like that and having it move around like that just looks so cool. As always there's more puzzles to come by, and here's one here that you can see with two numbers in a triangle, and you need to work out the creatures that correspond to this particular equation. On the wall nearby you'll find a cube in the triangle that has the pictures of these particular creatures, and you have to roll the right one to then get the particular code sorted, and once you've done that the door opens up. You'll find a few chests inside. They can give you some rewards like statues, hats and other items that are quite helpful. Now I don't know about you guys, but while exploring and playing through a game I like to stop for a moment and appreciate the animals that they have in them. You can't walk by an animal and not give it a pat. That's cool. Next I moved on to classes, and this is where I learnt the particular spell, Accio. The thing I like that they've done here is it's not just quickly go into a class, learn how to press a particular button to do a spell and you move on. Instead they like to give you a little bit of a practice at the start, a little bit of a warm-up, and then they actually get you to practice this against another student or with another student. And as you can see, sometimes spells do take a little bit of time, as I struggled with that one to begin with, but once you start practicing it enough and giving it enough of a go, you can learn to really hone in on that skill and get it just right. And so sure enough I ended up getting the win in that particular case. Of course, there is more than just one class, so I went over to Defense Against the Dark Arts, and this is where I got to take on another classmate in a duel where I learned the spell Levioso. That's right, it's not Leviosa, it's Levioso. So in this particular scenario, we didn't just get to see what Defense Against the Dark Arts was like, we also got to see what dueling was like, and on top of that, we also got to see a little bit more of combat in a different style. Now comes the part where we get to venture outside of the castle, and I couldn't help but have a bit of a look around and take a notice of the Quidditch that was going over on the side, that particular area that you have. Although there's no Quidditch actually going on, they still have the area. And then of course, up a bit further ahead, we had some hippogriffs come by flying through, which I thought that was just a really cool thing to implement in there, to have the creatures come by. And of course, now we move into Hogsmeade.
Here, take it.
Ah yes, the ebony unicorn hair, 12¼ inches. Now what can I say about Hogsmeade? It's a big area, it's a beautiful area, it's a place that has so much in it, so many nice stores, and of course you come to realise that it's basically the second main area. Here's just one example of the kind of stores you can come across, with all of its knickknacks, all of its little doodackies and gizmos and gadgets, but whatever other words you'd like to use. And then of course you have your other stores, which is basically just your merchants. In this particular case we're having a look at J. Pippins, which is our potions merchant, so you'll always come to him to get your potions. We also have the Magic Neep, which you can come to get your seed, get your flour, get your fruit, get leaves, all sorts of things like that. So that's our first look into Hogwarts Legacy, and with a little bit of exploring around the map and whatnot, you can expect to get to about this stage after 3 to 4 hours. So unfortunately we haven't unlocked the broomstick yet, but we'll get to that soon enough. Now if you've made it this far into the video, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and it shows me that you're supporting my channel. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to come back for more content, and we'll see you in the next one.